talking with head coach Jim Yarbrough. Coach, win tonight over Milsaps, exhibition game tonight. Little rough there at points, but overall, what would you say you saw from the ball club tonight?
Well, I think there's certain combinations, especially starters, and the first few guys off the bench I thought played very well and had some very good moments. The deeper we went into the bench, the newer, fresher the faces, the more mistakes that occurred on offense or defense and not understanding some things. But, you know, this is what exhibitions are for. You can lose exhibitions, you can stumble around very badly, but I thought defensively we were excellent. Rebounding needs to be shored up, but I think I got a chance to study my team very well, and we still got a 30-plus point win. So I think the mission was accomplished. I hope it's enough preparation before we launch into our next game on the road at Tulsa. It will be a very tough game for us.
A couple of players that stood out, Jan Petrovic, he's got some size.
Yes.
And he seems to be kind of fluid under the basket. It looks like he struggled at times with his footwork, but he's not afraid to kind of move around underneath there.
No, not at all. He's, like several guys on our team, getting a feel for when to drive, when to shoot, when to post, and how to finish. Just some guesswork out there that you could see. I'd like to have another game or two like this before we actually take on a team as good as Tulsa, but you know, we've got to go play, and we'll have a mix of games coming up in the weeks ahead. But he's got a chance to be very good, we think. You know, in some ways his body is big. He's got the junior college body, but he's still got elements of a freshman. He's new to Division I basketball. He's got a language barrier. He's trying to understand the vocabulary of our system just like a freshman would. And so guys like that, sometimes they get paralysis by analysis. They stop and think instead of playing or recognizing a chance to create or go straight up. And I thought he loosened up as the game went on. Certain guys who looked, you know, Darren Populus shot an air ball early, came back and nailed a beautiful three and looked like he loosened up as the game went on. And I thought our defensive effort was pretty good. I think Jan had 10 rebounds tonight. He's going to need more of that, and with certainly some of the opponents we have coming up. But again, I think he's a nice one to watch. I think he'll get better.
Anochi Ochi, another one. You can see the athletic ability there. He's very lean, but he can leap, he can move, but he's still very raw, isn't he?
Redshirt freshman, and when the mental meets the physical, watch out. He's going to be very good. And that takes time. You know, very few freshmen can come onto the college scene. You know, maybe the guys that Cal gets at Kentucky, they can get to an Elite Eight or maybe even a Final Four. But it's hard for most freshmen to come in unless they have just tremendous physical size or speed, like a John Wall who ends up being the first pick in the draft. We don't have those kinds of freshmen. Our kids can be athletic, they can be long, like a Patrick Sullivan, but they typically take time and development and coaching and repetition and several summers to grow mentally and physically, and then they can become very, very good players. So it's a little bit of a wake-up call. Freshmen don't always understand that. Once they get here, they do, and luckily we have some very, very good kids. You know, Ochi wants to be better, accepted the fact that he needed a red shirt, understands the fact that he's working hard, and we'll have some very good games for us this year. Tonight still looked a little rusty. Has had some very good practices and some so-so practices, kind of typical of where he's at, but very talented and some good young players. I just hope these young players can get better fast enough to help the core group of older guys as we get into conference play. To me, that's what these 13 non-conference games, really 12, because our 13th non-conference game is going to be the bracket buster in February. But we have 12 games between now and January to get this group together, understand what we want, and become a group that every night executes a certain way. But I like our spirit. I like where we're at mentally. Just it's going to take some time.
And also Quinn Cooper is a guy that has transferred and he's played at the level, but he's new to the system. He's got an outside shot. How do you envision using Quinn this year?
I want him to stop dribbling and keep shooting. That's real simple. You know, some of what you see out there with these younger, newer guys, it's kind of a lack of physicality, how you exert yourself. You see Brandon Fortenberry early and often in his minutes exerting his will on the opponent, defensively on the floor, getting up and bothering somebody, chasing them defensively. The young guys kind of are polite, and they move out of the way instead of stepping in and take a charge, and they don't know how to use their bodies and their length appropriately. As they get better at that, we'll get better.
All right, Coach, best of luck at Tulsa this coming
Appreciate
weekend.
it. Thank you.